Alright, hello. The lineups for the 2025 World Championships are out, and you guys might want to check them out with me so that you can choose your champion appropriately. I have already chosen Maxi as my champion, and I will tell you why his lineup is the best and why the other ones are not as good, which is totally my unbiased opinion because I totally didn't prepare with him or help him prepare for this tournament. So, without further ado, let's go to these lineups. So, first of all, I think we should take a look at what actually got brought to this tournament. 14 out of 16 players brought Discover Hunter, 12 brought Control Death Knight, 12 Quest Warriors, 10 Hagafa Shamans, 9 Cycle Rogues, and then 2 Copy Druids, 2 Dragon Warriors, 2 Egg Warlocks, and 1 Protoss Rogue is what we have in the tournament field. And let me go over these archetypes a little bit. Discover Hunter, it appears in one of the two iterations. It's either this lower curve deck with Sisters, with a couple spells, like a more spell heavy of like Arcane Shots, with Glacial Shards, and with Incendious. Or it's the Chinese version, is how we call it, because mostly the Chinese players brought it. I think only the Chinese players might have brought it, which is this Elise list. I don't, personally, I don't think there is a good reason to run Elise in this Discover Hunter. I think the Elise lists are just all weaker than the non-Elise lists, than the lower curve lists. But maybe the Chinese players will prove me wrong. So therefore, I am rating all of those Discover Hunter lineups with Elise a little lower. Then another deck that we can go through is this Death Knight, right? I think Death Knight is the second most popular one. Yes, this one is mostly all of the same lists, which is this cards Death Knight as we call it, with Elise as the main protagonist in this, with a little bit of early game with Exarch Maladar trying to cheat out your Ysera, your late and your other late game cards. There is a couple of differences between these lists. So some of them run dragons, like Definition. Insane runs Marin instead, and there are mixologists also in this lineup. Also, there are just the non-dragon lists without any of the mixologist stuff. There's the differences on how many blob avatars we run. Sometimes there is a Zephyrus, sometimes there's differences on whether there is a Baron, Sanguine Infestation. But most of the idea is the same, where you just play cards, you push damage, you try to use that pressure to make your opponent use their resources inefficiently, and at the end of the day, either run them out of life or run them out of resources, whichever comes first, really. Then we have this Quest Warrior, which, again, a lot of the lists are very similar. This one from Insane, we have, well, there's mostly big minions and Precursory Strike drawing your minions, all you can eat drawing your minions, again, an Elise deck with the quest as serving as a win condition with Time Warp being able to do somewhere between 30 and 80 damage depending on how long you want to take to set up, with Ham enabling you to run New Heights for the ramp. Yes, this idea of this deck is you mostly control your opponent and then you win the game after that. And we also have the next most popular deck is this Hagafa Shaman. Hagafa Shaman, I think this is the one that is the most popular on ladders, so most of you will know what this is. It's just play Hagafa, play big bellhops, make big minions, hit them in the face, win the game deck. Then we also have Cycle Rogue, which is this Incendious Everything Must Go deck where you try to draw a lot of cards in a single turn, play Everything Must Goes, then finish the game off with Incendious and Asteroids being shuffled into your deck, and use Blood Mage Talnos to give spell damage to all of those and push a lot of damage from hand after drawing the entire deck, which usually happens around turn 7 or 8. And those are the most popular decks, right? The five most popular decks. And then we have the little bit of a unusual decks. So these came from two prep groups, and then the Protoss Rogue was just, I think, Yu's solo decision. So the prep group of Pocket Fury Hunter. These are the two players that I kind of that I rate as one of the best players, some of the best players in the field. Pocket Train 2023 World Champion, Fury Hunter 2024 runner-up. They've decided to go with this lineup, which in my mind skips all three of the strongest deck, being Discover Hunter, Cycler Rogue, and Quest Warrior. They've decided to go with the BBU control Death Knight of the Hagafa Shaman, which we've already talked about, as well as this copy Druid, which intends to copy minions and make big minions of Zinashari, copying either Eridor Brute, which comes down for cheap if the opponent has a lot of minions, or Dread Deserter for a charge combo, or Briarspawn Drake for a lot of damage combo, and uses Lady Ashara to empower the Zinashari so that you can make those copies of Briarspawn Drake or Dread Deserter very, very big so that you can kill pretty much any opponent regardless of their life total. Yeah, the deck also runs the newest card, one of the newest additions to standard, Welcome Home, which allows you to reopen the Zinashari location for even more copies and even more damage of a big minion. Yeah. And then also there is the Dragon Warrior, which just plays dragons and hits the opponent in the face and also gets weapons with Stadium Announcer. And that deck, and both of those decks are only brought by Pocket and Fury Hunter. And I have to say, even though I respect Pocket and Fury a lot as players, I think this lineup is just quite bad. Like, I don't really understand what they were thinking with the Druid and the Warrior. They don't seem like great decks, and they are also accompanied by decks which aren't great to begin with. Like, both the Death Knight and the Shaman were viewed as me, and I think as a lot of the community, as good candidates for the fourth deck, alongside the three of the strongest decks. No, but they weren't viewed as candidates to have both of them in the lineup and to replace like Quest Warrior or Discover Hunter or Cycle Rogue. That I think is just a little bit out there. So we will have to see what this lineup actually tries to do. I we I'm like not exactly sure. Me and Maxi are currently with some other people as well are currently in the middle of testing this because Maxi will face Fury Hunter in round 1 of his tournament experience. So we're trying to figure out what this lineup is actually trying to do. So I will know more about that on the actual cast. But until then, I'm not exactly sure what the plan is here. I think according to a lot of stats, the Druid and the Warrior are supposed to be pretty strong into the Quest Warrior. And the Shaman is supposed to be not bad into the Quest Warrior either. But the problem then is that the Death Knight I don't think is very good into the Quest Warrior. So I don't really know where we're going with this. Yeah, like I don't really know what the ban is. I'm assuming the Quest Warrior gets left up, but I don't really know what else are we doing. Then there is also another unusual deck with Egg Warlock. This is a deck that used to be played. Now it decided to cut the Eternal Layover and the location, or Ultralisk Cavern, that was used to clear boards before, and now it's just all in on trying to pop the egg as quickly as possible with the addition of Spirit Bomb to be able to explode the egg for 1 mana, or explode the stage of the egg, and Glacial Shard to slow the opponent down in case they make a big minion. Quite an interesting list. I don't think it's bad into the field. So I think Phil Field and Inkuro had quite a good idea doing this as a fourth deck, and it does get fit with the 3 of the best decks in the field, at least in the opinion of mine and also the community, which is Discover Hunter, Cycler Rogue, and Quest Warrior. So I really, really like this Inkuro lineup. Filfield decided to not go for Cycle Rogue instead. Filfield decided to not go with Cycle Rogue. Maybe he didn't feel comfortable on it. Maybe he thought he could just play the Control Death Knight better. Because I think it's pretty clear that Filfield and Inkuro prepared together. Since I think their Hunter and their Warrior lists are identical too. And they both have the Egg Warlock. So I like this lineup a little less, especially since this Death Knight list has like Steam Cleaner and Renovator tech cards that don't seem fantastic. So I think when it comes to lineups, I think lineup wise, my favorite lineups come from either Maxi and Insane, which they have exactly the same 120 cards, the same 4 decks, or Inkuro in also in Group D. Yeah. I also don't hate Gabi's lineup, although I think I'm not a big fan of those lists. I think the Vigilant and the Bob are not exactly ideal in the Hunter. And also, no, I think that's it. I think the other lists are pretty good, but I think I'd much rather have the Death Knight than the Shaman. Not exactly sure of that. But I think Gabi has a very good lineup as well. Yeah, I don't really understand the lineups that like skip Cycle Rogue, like Chonsu, or just skip one of the good decks. I think Zhao T has like a similar lineup to Gabi in the idea, but it has this Elise Hunter, which I really just don't believe in. So there is also that. Yeah. If I were to pick who makes it out of groups, or yeah, the two people that make it out of groups in these groups, I think Group A would be Zhao T and probably Definition. Sorry, Pocket, your lineup's terrible. I think I don't. Yeah, I just really, really don't believe in it. For Group B, I think I would choose Insane and Yan Ming, I believe. Again, free good decks plus Cycle Rogue, even though there is this Elise Hunter, which I'm not a fan of. I think for Group C, I'm going to go with Gabi and with Gyu. And for Group D, I am going to go with Maxi and Inkuro, as I mentioned, that I've liked both their lineups the most. All right, and if you guys want to know who to choose for your champion, I think my recommendation is first of all Maxi. I think second of all it would be Inkuro. I think this lineup is kind of interesting. Third would be Insane. Obviously, you're more than welcome to uh, vote for whoever you want to. Oh, also Gabi, yes. So I think actually my order might be Maxi, Inkuro, Insane, Gabi. Yes, that's how I do it. And then probably Zhao Ti if you want. If you don't like these four. So that's yeah, that's about the World Championship. Check out the World Championship. It's being streamed on Thursday. I think I will link the announcement video about it that explains a lot about what or how the tournament happens. And yeah, I will catch you guys on Thursday on the cast on my stream. Hopefully, check it out. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.